back, and then the old lady calls and says, he's back here overweight.
Fantastic, how are you?
Greg,
Wigan?
how are you?
Yes, sir. Councilman.
Every week. And I'm gonna send you something.
Janice needs to sign.
Anywhere?
I always like to see
There goes our quiet.
Wow, that hurt, that hurts. Oh my God. Oh my God.
How you doing, all right?
Karen needs to sign it?
Yes, all of us have to sign it.
Are there any roll call votes that we need?
You guys can do this. Signatures just don't say anything.
I'm excited.
Just quickly.
I mean, he's improved so much.
Thank you.
That's us.
Thanks, appreciate it. Oh, I have to sign it. We do. This is the equal opportunity. Group of the
I read it so
Are you
fast.
going to do it with the same pen?
year.
She's doing good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm going backwards right now.
Going backwards?
Yeah, I lost my hand on Monday, but it's coming back here.
That's not good.
I know, but apparently. And I'm doing better than I thought.
Well, that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife went up for her first treatment on Wednesday.
Thank you.
No, it took her to Cooper. No, I don't think so. No,
Like Rodney.
I don't think so.
How did she make out?
She made out well. Now we gotta go back for a second treatment, which is gonna be half the time. Her first treatment was 5 hours.
So that was the worst.
That was the worst. Now she goes for 2, and then we see what happens over the next 6 months.
And so she feels okay. She felt okay.
She was tired, but other than that, she was okay.
What makes us tired?
Yeah, but she's doing well.
And Cooper was nice.
I love Cooper.
I thought it was great.
It's
It's been a lot of years, but I had my mother. She had to go there.
Ricky.
Remember when you had a
Thanks for being here today, son.
Yeah, no problem.
Do appreciate it.
Yeah.
We liked it. It was good.
I like. Good evening. When I had my triple bypass, I went to Penn Presbyterian. I liked it there, but
I'm okay, how are you?
almost like going into Center City, Philadelphia. Like
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing, actually.
I would. Cooper has a good. I would have to do some more research on their heart people, but I think it would be okay.
Oh, they were good. They were good. And
Figured we needed a little excitement, a little energy.
my father,
Yeah, well, almost. It's an Eagles flag, though.
he had a triple bypass, and 3 weeks later, he had heart. So he was
Wow.
really- and I didn't, fortunately, we found a relative.
Centralized Pittsburgh.
We couldn't stay there,
Everything
and
is
we
like
were
that.
really- it was good how they were going to accommodate.
You don't want me.
No, I guess.
Good.
They recognized, like a lot of times, you know.
It's only for fire and dispatch.
Well, they're in the
Yeah, no.
hospital.
They're gonna do it.
The stress
I don't know.
kills the
So, I know they were talking about it, so.
So,
Yeah, I signed it, but I didn't send it to him.
Yeah, I was gonna ask them to give it to us.
received
Yeah.
inquiries. So, and what I got yesterday is that they updated report about it, and Jason's gonna send that to everybody to take a look at it, and if they want bring my notebook?
Like, I'm looking at this on Facebook, the kids at ACIT played nice against Hamilton in their first playoff game at home.
Good, how you doing?
Not much, man. How you doing? Good. All set for the weekend? Yeah? A little soiree over at your place for a game? Huh? How about you? Yeah. I think I'm gonna watch it. What,
Head over to Charlie's.
yeah, sure.
Oh my God.
You're gonna support this,
That's cute.
paid
Oh,
parking thing?
how about that?
Grandchild number one,
There you go.
Little
So
Banker.
you haven't made your mind up yet, or?
No,
Oh, I know, my mind is, yeah.
Are we live? We are live.
character.
So you're for it?
Didn't work.
Come on. See if they want.
We're gonna talk about it.
All right, all right.
Okay. Everybody's here? Is Joe here? He's not gonna, he's not COVID, they can't. Sounds horrible. This meeting is called to order. Would everyone please rise for the flag salute?
How long?
May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Bruno? Here. Councilmember Owen?
Here.
Councilmember DePamphlis?
Here?
Councilmember McCary? Councilmember McGuigan?
Here.
Councilmember Dill?
Here.
Council President Johnston?
Here. Also present is Mayor Glasser, Administrator Frost, City Clerk Samuelson, City Solicitor Smith. Our engineer, Mr. Snyder's not feeling real well tonight, but he's watching us, so, on YouTube if you need him, so. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided. The agenda for this meeting is posted in City Hall and is on the city's website, summerspointgov.org. Okay, let's see. Anyone have any communications to offer? I do have one thing. We received a couple of inquiries asking for our opinion on the windmills. Yesterday, I received an updated information on that subject, and Mr. Frost has it. He's going to distribute it to everyone here, and so you can take a look at that, and I guess we can have a discussion and see if we have an opinion. So he'll get that to you tomorrow. It's all the updated information, I guess, what they've done, what they're doing, and all the updated studies.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor?
Good evening, Council President. Thank you. Start off by, on Tuesday night, there was a ribbon cutting, which was attended by Council President, Mr. Dill, Mr. Owens, and Mr. DePamphlis at the Planet Fitness in the Acme Shopping Center. I really think that's a great addition to Summers Point. I was very impressed with everything that they have there, and I understand you can get a membership like as low as $10 a month. So,
$1 down and $10 a month.
wow, unbelievable. So, with that, last night, we had a Veterans Advisory Board meeting attended by Councilman Dill and Councilman DePamphlis. Basically, it was just starting to open up the events that we will be looking at for the veterans throughout the year, especially with emphasis on Memorial Day, which will be coming up sooner than we know. We expect to meet again in mid-April, so we can further move on, but there are some things we're trying to get together with. Of course, a guest speaker a few other things. I am going to read a letter from the county executive. It was sent to throughout to all the mayors in the Atlanta County Mayors Association. This is reference to shared services feasibility study for countywide fire and EMS centralized dispatch. Dear Mayor, we have received interest and written support from the Atlanta County Firefighters Association, the Atlanta County Fire Chiefs Association, and the EMS Chiefs of Atlanta County for a feasibility study to determine the viability of countywide fire and EMS centralized dispatch. If we have support from our towns for the study, the county is prepared to apply for Shared Services LEAP Grant Challenge Grant to provide the funding. The grant application is due on March 15th, 2023. Prior to that date, we would need a copy of adopted resolution supporting the feasibility study or a letter confirming your support and plans to adopt the resolution. Please return those documents to Linda Gilmore at Atlanta County AC Link for your convenience. I've enclosed a sample resolution. Centralized dispatch has been discussed for many years. Before the county proceeds with any plans, a feasibility study would be needed. The Shared Services Grant Program provides an ideal opportunity to take a fresh look at the benefits, costs, and challenges associated with centralized dispatch. Feel free to contact my office if you have any questions. Sincerely, Mr. Denny Levinson, County Executive. So, something that is coming back around. I asked this governing body to think about it and give me your thoughts and opinions, and so we can either support this venture or at least a feasibility study at this time, or not. So,
Mayor, could you, what does that cover now again? Is that
just fire and EMS.
just fire and EMS, not police?
Not police.
It is not, now,
Okay, because I know that the county did an extensive study doing for police, fire, and rescues several years ago. And I know Stockton State College was involved as far as location is concerned. And I think the biggest issue was, that I remember, is the fact that the police dispatch thing was a major concern or a major issue. But personally, I'm willing to have them take a look at it, okay, and see what, as long as it's just fire and rescue. And it has nothing to do with hiring or having a countywide fire and rescue department, right? It's
there was
just-
nothing said,
Just dispatch.
just dispatch at this
Okay.
time, Mr. Dill.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, last thing, speaking of fire, few of us attended the fire company #2 dinner last Saturday night at the Flanders. Council President, Mr. McGuigan, Mr. Owens, and of course, the lovely Mr. DePanthlis. And it was a great dinner, but most of all, it was our chance to show how much we think of our members of our volunteer fire department. They, without a doubt, have the passion for this town and defend this town and do their very best. With that also, as I understand, talking to Mary Jane Bolden last night, that the fire company #1's dinner will be also at the Flanders on March 11th. So, with that, thank you very much, Council President. I appreciate the time to address this council.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Frost.
Good evening. Nothing to report this evening.
Mr. Smith. We'll move on to committee reports. Do we want to start with the Cannabis Committee report?
Sure.
Okay. Mr.
The
Pamphley.
Cannabis Committee has decided to make a recommendation to council to, first of all, take advantage of the additional revenue that could provide to us, and to allow for one location along our Route 9 corridor, and try to keep it away from schools and considering the fact that Summers Point residents did vote for this, so we should take advantage of any income we can get.
Okay. I agree. I think the income is the only reason to do it, but it's here, so it can be delivered here. We wouldn't make any revenue if it gets delivered here, so we might as well take advantage of that, so,
Well, those who need it or want it are going to buy it somewhere.
right.
So the ones that need it would appreciate it being close, I'm sure. That's it.
Okay. How's everybody?
Council President, can I make a comment on that?
Yes, please do.
I really don't have a stand one way or the other as far as having a local dispensary, okay? I've said it before, I don't know whether I've said it in public before or not. I just don't necessarily, if we're doing it just for the reason of revenue, okay, I'll be perfectly honest, I don't trust the state of New Jersey that they wouldn't pull that revenue back from us when they need the money. So unless there's some guarantee attached to this type of facility in Summers Point relative to the state and the revenue, I would be opposed to it, but only based on the fact that my lack of trust with the state not at some point in time down the road deciding that they need whatever that percentage is back into the state coffers rather than continuing to do it with municipalities because they've done it before, they have a history of it, and that's my only concern. Thank you.
Is there any way to protect us from that, Mr. Smith? Any way to protect us from that? No?
If I may, you have a question?
Yeah.
Relative to, you just made a report there, and you talked about revenue. Is there a projection of the amount of revenue? I mean, revenue, I mean, if it's $1,000, I'm not interested. If it's $10,000, I'm still not interested. Do we have an idea of that? I mean, I wouldn't, how do you make an evaluation based on that?
I just think it's something that we should look into. I'm not guaranteeing you anything. 10,000, could be 100,000.
Right.
Could be $10.
Right, right. Well, I for one, and I think what Mr. Dill articulated there, I'm not willing to take that chance. I'm not willing to put a dispensary in the middle of our business district and not knowing what the benefit was and not being guaranteed what the benefit is. I don't think we need it here, and people that partake in that, they can get it, like you said, delivery. I don't think we need a central place to make a gathering point, and without any figures, I'm certainly not going to make that evaluation. Thank you.
Is adding on to that, is there any projections whatsoever as far as what the revenue may or may not be?
I
Or are we
think the
just
challenge-
throwing our hands
No,
up
the-
and saying, well, we'll take whatever we can,
No, the
can
challenge-
be given to us?
The challenge there is that in New Jersey, that most of the dispensaries just open or are just opening.
Right.
So we did speak to one owner that was from North Jersey somewhere, and their numbers were very high, but I don't know what that means as far as population and all that
Right.
stuff. So I think, we can certainly research that more, and as the stores get out there, they'll have some real numbers, but,
EHT has one, correct?
yes.
And I don't know how long it's been open. So,
Yeah, they've been open for a couple of months anyway, yeah. And
You get a
also,
certain percentage of the sales, is that right? Is that how it works?
2%.
we can go up to like 2%.
It's
2%
2%,
of sales.
yeah. And economic development also did a quite extensive study on all of this to figure out whether or not it would be feasible, and their recommendation was also to allow it. so.
Well, like I said earlier, I really don't have an opinion one way or the other. My biggest concern is how much revenue are we talking about? And Mr. Smith has said that the state could pull that percentage away from us anytime they want to. The other option, though, and I guess it's not an option, if they pulled the percentage away, we could hold back the mercantile license associated with it so they couldn't practice in town? No.
We can't
We're,
put in.
we're locked in forever, no matter what the state does. Is that correct?
Just remember, they took away, borrowed from the pension fund.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
You know what, there's no guarantees ever.
Well, no,
But if the state wants money, all they have to do is decrease your state aid. I mean, there's no guarantee that you're gonna get the same amount of aid every year, but we take it,
May I make a
whatever it
statement?
is.
Yes, please do.
well, that's one person's opinion, okay? I'm just voicing my opinion. I'm not here to argue with anybody. Like I said before, I don't trust the state not to take that money back once it's up and running and finding some kind of excuse why they need the money more than the municipalities do. And they've done it before with other programs as far as this state is concerned, and that's all I'm saying. And there's no guarantee, and there's no levy there to take the mercantile license away to stop the business. I really have an issue with voting in favor of it, but that's just my opinion, and I've lost votes 6-1 before, so it doesn't really make a difference to me.
I was a member of the
Bruna?
committee, and first off, we honored the voters. This is what the voters voted for, and there was a poll done that reflected the same thing, and we honored that. And I also write a history column, and Summers Point had a newspaper 100 years ago, and city council was doing the same thing 100 years ago, because they ended prohibition, and we stepped up and wrote the laws we wanted for our city. And right now, there aren't really laws. It's all very vague. But this gives us an opportunity to continue looking further, to decide what we want to do and what we want for our community, and what voters want for the community.
Okay.
Thank you.
Madam President,
Yes.
if I may, a couple points of clarification. Yes, when the marijuana referendum, Summers Point residents voted in favor of that referendum was to legalize marijuana. It was not a referendum to build a dispensary within Summers Point.
Right.
That's two different opinions. There's two different facts. Just a point of clarification, and my memory's a little sketchy, but I don't know that we got a formal recommendation from EDAC recommending putting dispensaries in Summers Point. And you made reference to a poll. Well, that poll was a valiant effort, was poorly, we didn't get as much results as perhaps we hoped, and was somewhat unscientific. So I don't believe, and from my discussions and the circles I travel in, that the public wants dispensaries here. And as Mr. DePampa said, we need the revenue, but we don't have a report or even a projection of what that revenue would be. And as Mr. Dill has pretty well articulated, we have no guarantee what the state will do with it. And as we sat through a budget meeting or budget discussion the other day, just look at the energy receipts and what happened to that.
There you go. That's a prime
Thank you.
example.
And, it's just not worth the trouble.
Mr. Owen? You have-
Well, I know economic development, they did talk quite extensively. They even put out a questionnaire about it. With that, I believe Max Slusher had done some number crunching with for revenue projections. But I still feel that there's more questions that have to be answered. I mean, there's the revenue impact, but more importantly is the social impact. And I'm not ready to open up on that equation, because it's really up to the individuals.
So it sounds like we need the committee to just give us a little more information, a little more research, and maybe get some estimated numbers. And I know there was a report done by EDAC. Maybe we can get that, bring that back to council. And
I just ask you, son,
Councilmember
Joe.
Rick and
I am.
And Joe.
Bruno and Joe McCary.
Who could be here if we had Zoom?
No, he's way,
Let's not
he's
get into that.
way too sick.
Let's not get into that.
I was just,
He's asleep. He's not,
gonna be- I'm
he is
gonna be
in no
nice.
shape to be talking
not
about
discuss
anything.
it.
I was just gonna suggest that the committee reach out to EHT and see
Yeah.
what's going on out there. 'Cause I'm sure they must have some, I mean, I know at least back in November, it was open at the must have something that is demonstrating what type of sales are happening. I don't know anything about the
And
dispensary.
I believe that gentleman came and spoke to us in the beginning of this conversation a while back.
100 years ago.
Yeah, whatever. But-
Things have changed so much. I
Yeah.
don't know where that dispensary is. Is it
It's in the industrial park. Yeah, off of Delilah Road, the industrial park, yeah. That's been a medical marijuana grow center for a couple years now, so.
And how big is the dispensary?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. I mean, it's just something we might want to reach out to their business administrator perhaps. Just a thought. I mean, at least you have something you can come back to the council with.
Sure.
Okay. Good, thank you. Okay. Parking committee, we'll move on to, I'll give that, or start that report. Parking committee met, and we're coming back with a recommendation. So we have 3 parking lots with paid parking. The recommendation from the committee is to not have paid parking at the Gateway lot and the beach lot, but to keep the paid parking at the Summers Avenue lot. It was the busiest, and the projected income just for that one lot conservatively was about $75,000 when our engineer did those estimates. So that is their recommendation, just to keep it for the one lot and the other 2 lots. I think, but it does need to be done right this time. We didn't do it right the first time, and we've also met with the chief, and he's on board with enforcement. And I think that we should try it, and we need revenue. So that's the committee's recommendation.
How did I'm sorry, but how did the committee arrive at the decision to pick my notes have it as the Clam Bar, which is the Summers
Right.
Avenue lot, and not include the Gateway lot or the beach lot? To me, I think we discussed this, I don't know exactly how long ago, but it was, my opinion is you should either do it for all of them or none at all, okay? Every community's affected by this, and to say that the beach lot and let me get it right here, and the Gateway lot should be exempt from parking, let's call a spade a spade. The beach lot was projected at $75,600, and the Gateway lot was projected at $92,880. We're willing to say no to that money, but we're willing to take the $75,600 from the Clam Bar. It just doesn't make any sense. Wait, please.
Okay, sure.
If we're talking about revenue, and we're only talking about revenue, then damn it, we should either accept the revenue from all 3 lots, or just accept or not have the revenue from any of the lots. That's my opinion. And to add on to that, the $76,000 or $75,600 from the Clam Bar or the Summers lot is a projection of 100% capacity for 12 hours a day for 180 days. And I think all of us know that we're not going to reach that goal, okay? You're not going to have every parking lot 12 hours a day for 180 days filled to capacity all the time. So that's $76,600, in my opinion, is a misnomer, okay? There was also a projection that at 25%, okay, it would be $61,020. So we're talking about somewhere between, no, it's not even that number. Hold on a second. No, that math wouldn't add up. 25% would be $18,900. Okay, so, we're really talking about a revenue between $18,900 and the $75,600 that has already been mentioned. And I personally think it would be closer to that, but my bigger concern is the fact that why are we making fish of one and fowl of another two? We're not going to charge for the beach, but we're not going to charge for the theater, which is where I think the base of our income would be, okay? And we're just going to inconvenience the neighborhood or the residents of the Clambar, Summers Point area. And I just have a concern with that. I'm sure the committee worked very, very hard and come up with this, but I would like a little bit more background, how they arrived at making two of them exempt and keeping the one. What was the reasoning behind
I
it?
can tell you that.
Please.
The reasoning was that the beach and the Gateway parking lots, we felt were mainly used by the residents of Summers Point to go to the beach and enjoy the shows at the Gateway. The other lot was just a parking lot for Schmitty's. Why should we provide free parking for Schmitty's Restaurant? And I'll take it one step further. I don't even think we should, I think we should sell the lot down by Schmitty's and get some really nice revenue.
Well, what did the committee say about that recommendation? Or wasn't that ever brought before
No,
the
it was
committee?
brought up, yeah.
That's not really what we have.
No, it is what we're talking about. He just said that he brought that up to the committee. What was the committee's response to that?
I don't think that's what we're here to talk about
Oh, I
right
think
now.
it is. I personally think it is, because if we're talking about revenue, and we're talking about potential revenue, 100% revenue versus 25% revenue, and also the fact that, there was a discussion among the committee at some point in time about selling the lot. What are we doing here? And I think it all relates one to the other, is the fact that, do we sell the lot? Do we not sell?
That was just
The
that was
committee's
an idea.
report was what the president told you.
Right.
The last thing
We
was
didn't discuss that.
my thoughts,
Right.
and it wasn't part of the
It
recommendation.
wasn't discussed at the committee?
It was discussed,
Well, then,
but it's not part of the recommendation.
well, apparently then it was discussed and it was rejected. Is that what you're saying?
No, it was not discussed at length. It was Mr. DePamphlis's suggestion, idea for later on down the road. It was not discussed, and there was no decision made or no recommendation concerning that at all. It was
Okay, I'll-
something that came out in conversation, and
I'll-
we went back to the parking issue. That's what we went back to.
I will still go back to the fact that if you have 3 parking lots, an example, Ocean City has several parking lots. They just don't say, well, because of this reason or that reason, the ones closest to the boardwalk, we don't have to do, or the ones closest to the youth center doesn't, because mostly residents do use that. I think it's just, the only thing I can say is I disagree with it. I think that we either have, the vote should be for all or nothing, okay? And, that's just my opinion. But don't make the statement that the revenue from that parking lot's going to be $75,600, because it's going to be it's going to be something quite possibly far less than that. So, it's $75,600, and it could go, the engineer's recommendation, as low as $18,900 with 25%. And I think we're going to be closer to the 25% than we are the 100%, based on the usage in the area. And, if people go to a parking lot and they have to pay, but they can park on the street, they're going to park on the street, and, then the residents that live in that area have to deal with the parking, which we heard for on many occasions. So, I don't want the public to think that we're going to derive $75,000 from keeping this lot open, because that's not true, and it's probably closer to the $18,000 that we talked about. I'll let it go at that. I might say something I would regret.
Madam President?
Yes, Mr.
Thank you.
McGuigan.
First off, congratulate Mr. Dill for such a passionate and well-spoken speech there, whatever we're going to call it. First things first, it's the $75,600. It's not a projection. That's a capacity, okay? A capacity of, like Mr. Dill said there, if we had every space filled for 12 hours a day for 6 months, to think that you're going to get 18,000 is foolhardy. To think that you, even when it was free, that I don't think it got to 20% of all that time. No, my projection, which is just an educated guess based on driving by that parking lot, 7,500 bucks at the best. Now, we talked about, and Mr. DePamphlis just said this, that the people going to the Gateway and the beach concert are Summers Point residents, okay? I'm a Summers Point resident, and, you know, and I may or may not enjoy it, which I do, but for the record, let's just say I don't enjoy the beach concert, or I don't enjoy the plays and all the programs that the Fine Theater puts on, but I do, but just for this argument, let's say I don't. But my wife does, so she goes to the plays, and she goes to the beach concerts, and she doesn't have to pay the park. I enjoy clam chowder. So now I drive down to go to my clam chowder, and I gotta pay. That doesn't seem very fair to me. And we sit up here, we know all about ratables, and we want to attract ratables, and we all cheer when businesses come, just like we saw the Planet Fitness open that the mayor gave us a report on. And you know, I support all these small businesses because they do provide jobs for many of my friends and many of our neighbors and many of the citizens here. So now we're saying to Schmitty's or whatever businesses that enjoy that parking lot down there, well, no, you don't get it. We're going to try to derive, and to sit here and say that it's $75,000, that borderline's on embarrassment. Now we're going to say to the neighbors on Summers and Annie and so forth, we're going to drive the people out of that parking lot into the front of your house. You struggle with parking in front of your house now. It's only going to get worse because people don't want to park there. But the people down on Gibbs and Higbee, we're going to give you relief because you're going to have 2 free parking lots. I don't, you know, and you know, I'm borderline just repeating what Mr. Dill says, but it's a ridiculous idea. And you know, let's keep in mind the hard feelings we're creating to get the $7,500 or even $18,000. We have an $18 million budget. It's hardly worth that, the aggravation and the embarrassment. Thank you.
Yeah,
Anybody else?
Mr. Smith, I do have a question, though. In the agreement that we have with this agency that's going to be doing the parking for us, the contract, can we just go to them and say, we just don't want you we're not going to charge for those 2 lots, but we're going to charge for the, whatever you want to call it, the Summers Avenue lot, or
Yes.
do we have to, excuse me?
Go ahead.
Do we have to reject the contract that calls for 3 and then go back out for quotes on the single one? The you can't amend the contract is the contract, or am I wrong? I'm not an attorney.
We could ask them to amend the contract, but you have to, as it stands right now, the contract has a date that you have to notify them of cancellation.
Right.
If you're going to hypothetically, if you're going to have 1 lot that's going to be charged and the other 2 aren't, you're going to have to cancel the contract if they don't negotiate it. So it's, I mean, it's
Now, refresh my memory too, wasn't that contract let out to bid?
Yeah,
I think it was,
We had
yes.
they had to answer an RFP.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
so
If the scope of
if
it
we
changes.
if we amend that contract, don't we have to come out with another RFP before we would amend the contract? So which basically, and again, I'm not a lawyer, that's why I'm asking you, okay, we need to reject the 3 and then go out for an RFP on the 1. Is that the proper step to do that? Otherwise, we would be open to litigation?
I think you probably already know the answer to that. So I'm
I did some investigation, okay? There's no question in my mind, I did some investigation. But that's my job to do that, sitting up here,
You're right.
okay? I just want to make sure that we're legally within the confines of the law.
My recommendation was going to be after this discussion was tick, 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 that's the.
Well, we've been talking about this for months, and now we're now up against it.
Decision, one way or the other, what you're going to do.
And at this point, okay, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, okay, we either renew the contract as it stands,
Well, we don't do anything in that regard, we just leave it alone.
leave it alone,
Right.
okay? Or if we're going to change it, we have to cancel this existing contract and go out with RFPs for the one lot alone, okay? All right,
So it sounds like the question is, it's an all or nothing. We either keep all three or we get rid of all three. Is that,
or we,
is that
re-
what
we-
we're
we-
asking
we
for?
reject the three and go out RFP for the one.
Okay.
I'm glad I'm not sitting up there right now.
Oh, come on now.
Discussion, it's just a discussion.
And
This is
I'm,
the easiest
So,
vote we're gonna
my-
have.
yeah, this is
the
fine.
easiest vote we're gonna have.
My thing is, that we gotta start thinking about revenue, and I'm all for keeping all three. I was all for it right from day one, so that's my opinion. I don't know how everybody else feels.
We're sitting up here arguing about
Right.
recommendations.
Right, I know.
I mean, it's-
Yeah,
we're not
we're
asking
making
anybody to
recommendations.
vote.
but
or anything.
like our
No, no, no,
attorney, like
we
our
need to
attorney.
vote on this. This is not a
Yes.
recommendation. You just heard, we need to vote on it.
I
It needs
thought,
to be
I
Well, we
argued
need
out.
to
I thought I
vote.
heard
People
tick,
that
tick,
support
tick,
this.
tick.
We need
The
to
time-
vote.
The clock is
The clock
ticking.
is
All right,
ticking.
hold
We've
on,
been
hold on.
discussing this
All right, all right,
for
that's
months
enough.
now.
That's enough.
We've been discussing
That's
this for
enough,
months,
please.
and now we have this nonsense.
That's enough, please, that's enough.
Well, that's nonsense.
So the question is, and I guess we'll just do we do a straw vote because we don't have a formal piece of paper in front of us.
I make a
And
motion, we
vote
put
to
a resolution on, we wait 24 hours, we put a resolution on, and do away with the contract. Motion's been made.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
All in favor, no, I'm sorry, you cannot.
can't.
We are not open for public comment right now. We are not open for public comment right now, thank you. All, I guess can we do a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Bruno.
Clarification, we're
Yeah.
voting to end the contract.
Cancel all the contracts and all the fees charging on all three parking lots.
Okay.
To
And
not-
if we,
to
if
not-
we, if we reject this, we can go out for an RFP for the one lot,
Wait,
right?
I think we just added something to it, I'm sure. Try to take notes sometimes. The motion was just made
To
to
do
cancel the
every-
contract.
That's all.
That's
Right,
it. That's
right,
it.
right.
Nothing else about.
Nothing else, no.
amending an ordinance, repealing an ordinance, nothing. Cancel the contract. That's
Right.
all you're voting on.
Right.
My recommendation is you're going to have to do that anyway. If you want to think you're going to get something back in place by the end of the summer, and you want to modernize. I mean, you think about that, and you saw what the debacle was before,
Well-
because getting everything, what if someone else comes in and rebids it, that is actually going to come in and place a different type of system in there? And just look how long it's been taking to get a gate up and
Well, yeah, but I don't think that's what we're talking about. We either want to keep having paid parking or we don't want to.
that's not what this motion is.
Well, then, I think we
Well,
should
I'll make that motion after we
Amend the-
dump this.
amend the motion. I think you should amend the motion.
All right, I'll amend the motion. I would like to make a motion to sever the contract with Park Mobile in accordance with that contract, and to do away with any ideas or of charging citizens or visitors or business owners for parking, paid to park in our municipal lots.
Okay. We need another second,
I'll second it.
or you want to clarify it?
No, I'll clarify it and see where this vote goes, then I may have a comment.
Okay. Can I have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Bruno.
Yes.
Councilmember Owen.
Yes.
Councilmember DePamphlis?
Yes,
Yes?
yes.
Councilmember
Cancel
McQuiggan?
every-
Yes,
Okay.
Councilmember McGuigan?
Yes.
Councilmember Dill?
yes.
Council President Johnston?
Yes.
Okay, what you need, if I may, now, you need an ordinance to repeal the other ordinance, if that's, because that was just, that's a resolution that has no effect on an ordinance. You have to repeal the ordinance by an ordinance.
Okay, so we'll do that at the next meeting.
You recall, I had submitted a
Okay.
proposed resolution and then an ordinance also, back when this was discussed, I don't even know when, December, November,
Okay.
so I will
Next question. I'm sorry, but I have to ask.
address Madam President, please.
Okay. If we're going to pass an ordinance, it takes 2 readings to pass this ordinance, and if that's the case, do we have the time to do it before we would cancel the contract?
Yeah, we have till March, was it the end of March?
Point of order, we don't need a ordinance to cancel the contract, just a resolution we just passed. So
Oh, okay,
Okay.
Correct.
There you go, yeah.
okay.
I'm not
They
aware.
get notification now that we've chosen to cancel that.
Okay. And if this council determines that they want to go out and get an RFP on the one lot, they can feel free to do that, right?
We could do it, we can do whatever, we can do whatever we want. We can, but that's not what we're,
No,
We
that's
just
not what we're
voted to
talking
do.
about right now.
Right.
I am going to do what I did once before, just so everyone knows. I will prepare an ordinance. All I gotta do is revise it when I did before, pass it on to Madam Clerk, and this body can do whatever it wants to do with it. You can have an internal discussion, and it can not be ever put on an agenda. We can just leave it as an ordinance that sits out there that we cannot,
But we're not,
can't
no, let's
enforce.
clean it up, let's clean it up, we'll
okay,
get
but
rid of it.
we're not under,
We'll get rid of it.
but the ordinance comes forward or not, we're not, based on the vote that we just had, we're not obligated to extend the agreement.
No, we're obligated now to cut it. We voted to cut it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Right, right.
I just want clarification, if that's the case.
Right.
We don't have to wait for the ordinance to pass in order to sever ties.
That is correct.
Okay, that's fine.
We just
Thank you.
But even
Well,
if
the
we did, we do
resolution
have
you had
time,
back in
if we
November.
had to, we have.
I don't want to say it out loud, but I'm going to email all that stuff back to him tonight.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Does anyone else have,
Just
does
talking to Mike.
anyone else have any committee, other committee reports to report?
I hope not.
Madam President,
I'll
Yeah,
probably have an opinion on that, too.
the,
Well, up to
the Recreation Board met this past Thursday, regards to the youth center.
Oh, boy.
The Arts Commission is, it's more appropriate for them to be over the senior building, handicap access and everything else with lighting. The POW, Summers Point POW organization is going to be starting up, and they're going to make use of the building as well as share a portion of it with the Cape Atlantic Railroad Association.
I have I have a question, okay? When you say shared, is the Cape Atlantic, what's the name of the railroad, the,
I believe it's the Cape Atlantic Railroad Association.
now-
John Barberi's,
are they going to set up something for the public to come in and see, or are they just using it for storage?
I believe they're just using a small portion of it for storage, but they'll be up come August.
Their agreement with the city would be done in August,
with rec.
Correct,
with the rec board.
correct.
Okay, all right, that's fine, I just
Council President,
want the clarification.
Yes,
also they will require insurance. So
right.
they can,
The PAL will require insurance?
yeah, can get in touch with me and I can help them along with that.
Okay.
Does point of clarification, does the train have the train club have a?
No, I wasn't aware the building was being used, so they need it also.
But they've been using it, haven't they?
Well, we'll have to
Yeah.
get.
They
get,
need insurance, yeah.
We'll have to get that.
Madam President, I'm not sure. Are they still going to be using storage or?
No.
No.
The agreement is until August
So then it will end.
for them to use it, right?
And where will they go in August?
That's not our,
Okay, good.
I don't know. I don't think that's
Yeah,
our.
and-
Well, just a point of clarification here, the rec board, has jurisdiction, for lack of a
Right.
better term, over that property. The rec board can only extend the use of a facility 6 months. Now, the rec board will decide 6 months from now what to do when the train operation allowance is up. So predicting what the rec board would do, at that point, I don't know.
Okay. I
Yeah,
think,
that's fine.
I think we're.
And just another point of clarification, I do know that there is plans for events that the public could attend to see and look at the trains.
Right. Okay, moving on, could I have a motion to approve the reorganization meeting minutes from January 6th, 2023, the regular meeting minutes from January 12th, 2023, and the regular meeting minutes from January 26th, 2023? I need a motion, please.
I'll make that motion.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are approved. Thank you for getting all that done. Okay, ordinance number 3.
Ordinance number 3, an ordinance amending and supplementing the Summers Point Municipal Code, Chapter 250, Vehicles and Traffic, and enacting Article 9, Section 250-73, designated crosswalks, and repealing all ordinance heretofore adopted, the provisions of which here are inconsistent herewith.
May I have a motion to open for public comment on resolution number 3?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I'm sorry, ordinance number 3. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? If anyone wishes to speak in reference to ordinance number 3.
Patricia Pearson, 587 Marks Road. What does this mean?
We are asking for a crosswalk on Shore Road between,
Josie Kelly's?
Miller Lane and their
Okay,
parking
could
lot.
you, somebody explain it?
Yeah,
If you would like,
yes.
we're just guaranteeing that there will be a crosswalk there.
That's all?
This says we submit it to the county and they're going to approve it. That's
Okay, thank you. And is it just one crosswalk at this time, in that particular location, or is it other crosswalks?
Just that one
Okay,
particular location, that particular crosswalk.
okay, thanks for clearing that up.
Thank you. May I have a motion to close?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now closed for public comment. May I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 3?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ordinance number 3 is adopted. Ordinance number 4.
Ordinance number 4 of 2023, an ordinance amending and supplementing the Summers Point Municipal Code, Chapter 114, Development Regulations, and enacting Article 32, Zoning Matrix Schedule Section 114-233, designated as Schedule of Minimum Area, Yard, and Building Requirements.
May I have a motion to open for public comment for ordinance number 4, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now open for public comment for ordinance number 4. May I have a motion to close?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now closed for public comment. May I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 4?
Make that motion.
Second.
Any comments?
Madam President,
Yes.
Mr. Smith, there was a slight issue. We need to address that?
I don't believe so. I think everything's fine with the regards. We can go back and address the other issue that the engineer raised. There was just an issue, there was,
Just we call it a typo.
okay.
There you go.
But the whole idea is just to adopt the matrix.
Right.
Not anything specific, it's only to include what's already there. So I think that if we want to go back and clean this up, if it becomes necessary, or if this body ultimately entertains changing some of the other zoning requirements in town, without saying anything else, that's really, there's nothing else to do at this point. It's just trying to make it legible and easier to read for everybody, and if you make a change, then we have to go back, make a determination as to whether, if there is a future typo, which would govern the language of the specific ordinance or the matrix form, and a suggestion by the engineer that we make that change ultimately, we make other changes that, in case there is a typographical error, it would be the body of the actual ordinance itself, not the matrix.
Okay.
Does that answer your question, Councilman?
It does, Mr. Smith. Thank you for that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ordinance number 4 is adopted. Ordinance number 5.
Ordinance number 5, calendar year 2023, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank.
May I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Ordinance number 5. Ordinance number 6.
Ordinance number 6 of 2023, an ordinance of the City of Summers Point authorizing the acquisition by deed of easement, a portion of Block 1214, Lot 9.01, located within the City of Summers Point from Sunset Avenue Development LLC for the municipal public purpose of a sidewalk easement.
May I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's the first reading for ordinance number 6. May I have a motion to open for public comment for resolutions only?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now open for public comment for resolutions only.
Patricia Pearson, 587 Marks Road. Okay, resolution number 56. Are these necessary? And here's the talk on the street. We have too many police cars with too big motors. The bottom line is, can't they buy more efficient police cars? It's all over. Everybody says it every day, not just once in a while, not in a blue moon. So, what are we doing here? Somebody explain it to the public.
So that resolution relates to a purchase on a co-op. These were budgeted for last year, but right now.
Okay, they were budgeted for last year, okay. Are they gas guzzlers? Do they take a lot of gas? Are they big, oversized cars? Let's hear it for the public, not just me, everybody.
They're SUVs.
Okay, do we need SUVs, or could we do better with compact cars?
I'm being told by the police department that these are the vehicles that they need.
So the police department is telling you to buy this, and it's your opinion that that's what you should do, is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. Frost doesn't have a vote on this.
Say what?
Mr. Frost does not vote on purchasing
I understand.
the vehicle, so
All right.
unfortunately, his opinion won't matter. We take it in confidence, but he doesn't have a vote. It's
Mr.
gonna-
McGuigan, please, we're not here to
not
argue.
asking for
Let's just,
Well, she's.
we made this
It's stuff.
decision last year, and it's in last year's budget, and we trust that our professionals are telling us the right information, and this is a decision that we made based on what our police department is telling us.
Okay, so the police department asked for it.
Right,
You made a decision to get it in last year's budget.
yes.
You're getting it now at a cooperative thing. I understand that. You're trying to save or do whatever you're doing. Are you taking into consideration anything that the taxpayers feel or want? Or
We take
have you heard
everything, we
anything?
take everything
Heard
into
anything about
consideration.
it?
We take this, we discussed this resolution was passed
And
last year.
And this is what you came up with, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so then the taxpayers will know that one, okay. Now, what's the other one? Oh, proposed marketing, what's the plan for that?
That is proposed, we're looking for, Economic Development Commission is looking for, they asked us to put out this RFP to hire a marketing company to promote our city.
Okay, so you're helping economic development along by advertising for this, and who's gonna make decisions on this?
Ec-
Do you mean who's going
yeah.
to be selected?
Say what?
Are you asking who's going to be selected or how the process
No,
works?
not who's gonna be selected, well, the final decision.
Economic Development will make their recommendations to City Council, and then City Council will make that decision.
Okay, that's that one, okay.
And Economic Development has their own budget, by the way, so.
Okay, and the last one, the lady who's being pushed up to level 4, is she retiring?
No.
No?
This person is replacing the one that's retiring, replacing the clerk that's retiring.
Oh, you're replacing one?
Yes.
So you have no intentions of moving the court to Mays Landing? You're hiring new people?
We-
I'll answer that.
we are not-
Absolutely not.
We're not hiring, no, we're not,
Tell
you
us.
can't answer that question.
Absolutely.
We are not, we need this office,
Regardless?
we need this office to be in work, it's working today, and we need someone to take over the person that's retiring to take her place. That has nothing to do with the decision down the road if we go with the county, or, that has nothing to do with it. We're taking care of business today, and this is
Okay,
what we need.
This council has to be a lot more open with the general public, honestly.
I can't get much more open than that. We're replacing someone that's retiring.
Nobody's up here talking about the cars, nobody's talking about the lady, nobody's talking about
We discussed the
anything.
cars last month. Last year, we discussed the cars.
Thank you.
Mr. Shields.
Jack Shields, 170 Bell Drive. Going back to the Durangos, as everybody probably does not know, it all depends on engine hours on these vehicles. So they're probably replacing, Madam President, the 2 old Chevy Blazers.
Yes.
So,
They were,
even
What, 2007 or whatever?
something like that,
Yeah.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So they do need to replace. They're even driving in the front of them. They're old. So they do need to be replaced. And then everything counts on engine hours. The more they sit in idle at construction zone, that kills the engine. And it was already passed last year for them, so they do deserve them. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As long as the public understands.
Make a point that the Chevys are 8-cylinder, as I understand,
I believe so.
and the Dodge Durangos are 6-cylinder. It's cut down, right? Police officers also need so much room as far as the SUVs because of the equipment they carry. They all have computers in the cars. They all have additional weapons in the cars, plus the paperwork they carry along with them.
Plus their gun belts and stuff.
Their
that they
gun
wear
belts.
on
Everything,
Saturdays.
they have a lot.
To get in a compact car for somebody who's, they
My
did it with me
size.
with Ford Fairmounts and it didn't work. But it's just that they need a vehicle. Not only that, they have prisoners to transport. We're not like Philadelphia where the prisoner vans or Atlantic City pick up prisoners. Our officers transport and they have to have room for that. Plus their additional equipment. The defibrillators, et cetera, first aid bags, flares, et cetera, they need on the job to take care of it. So I just wanted to add that in.
Thank you.
If you would tell the
Good.
public this.
We discuss it every 2 weeks. We sit up here and we discuss everything.
Never heard anything that the police cars are too little. I never heard any of that. I'm here every time.
Okay. Could I have a motion to close, please?
Yeah, for sure.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now closed for public comment on resolutions. Resolution number 56.
Resolution number 56, authorizing purchase of two 2023 Dodge Durango Police all-wheel drive vehicles with accessories through the Cranford Police Cooperative Pricing System National Cooperative Purchasing Program for contract number 22-01, Police and Administrative Vehicles for the Summers Point Police Department.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments?
Yeah, Council President, just one comment. We're purchasing the Durangos this year, but we budgeted for them last year.
Yes.
They're extremely hard to get as far as police cars are concerned. We're actually fortunate to be able to get the two now. We have budgeted this year for two police cars because the police department has requested, the chief has requested replacing two vehicles per year. The reason why we're budgeting them now for this year, we don't anticipate getting them until this time next year or later. So we have to budget for these police cars as we do for other equipment, okay, because it has a long waiting period due to the economy the way it is. So, again, we were fortunate. The only reason, correct me if I'm wrong, the only reason why these vehicles were made available is because of the co-op that we joined.
Right.
That's correct.
Okay, so, if we hadn't joined that co-op several council meetings ago, we still wouldn't have these police cars for this year that was budgeted for last year. The state contract is, there's not enough production under the state contract to supply police cars for every municipality in the state of New Jersey. A couple of cars come available, and a lot of them go to, first priority is the state police. The second priority is the larger police departments. So here we are as a small community sitting and waiting around, hoping to get a police car or two, and by joining this cooperative, we advanced the situation, and I want to thank the administration, you, Jason, for bringing that to our attention and giving us the opportunity to vote on it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 56 is approved. Number 57.
Resolution number 57 of 2023, taxes canceled and refunded, Block 524, Lot 2 for veterans exemption.
May I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 57 is adopted. Number 58.
Resolution number 58 of 2023, governing body certification of compliance with the United States Equal Employment Opportunity Commission's enforcement guidance on the consideration of arrest and conviction records and employment decisions under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 58 is adopted. Number 59.
Resolution number 59 of 2023, authorizing an advertisement for request for proposal for marketing services calendar year 2023.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments?
Council President, quick comment. I appreciate what Economic Development's attempting to do, sat in on the budget hearings, and they expressed a real need for this type of service and what they're going to do with this service, and that's why I'm going to be supporting this resolution.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 59 is approved. Number 60, please.
Resolution number 60 of 2023, authorizing execution of 2023 municipal aerial mosquito control agreement.
May I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
And a second?
Second.
Any comments?
Madam President,
Yes.
I'd just like to go on record. Not only am I against pay for parking, I'm also anti-mosquito.
Oh, you like mosquito?
Anti-mosquito.
Anti-mosquito.
Thank you.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 60 is approved. Number 61.
Resolution number 61 of 2023, awarding bid for Summers Point Bike Path Enhancements, contract number 115, federal project number CMAQ 10338-302, NJ DOT job number 5521310.
May I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 61 is approved. Number 62.
Resolution number 62 of 2023, promotion of Tanya Hancock to Deputy Court Administrator, Level 4.
May I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution number 62 is approved. Okay, moving on to old business. We've been asked to give a report on the League of Municipalities Convention this year. Madam Clerk, who attended, is going to give that report, so.
Yes, thank you, Council President and City Council and Mayor. I just want to thank you for allowing me to go to the League of Municipalities. It's $40 for all 3 days, and it helps me in my continuing education units, which are required for me to keep my certification as a city clerk, as a registrar, and even a qualified purchasing agent. So the first class I attended was the Registers of Vital Statistics course to review current updates involving procedural changes, including birth, death, marriage, and modifications. The next one was Records Management and Best Practices. It was an overview of best practices in organization and storage of records, conversions to other formats, and what to look for in the most for electronic storage system for the city. It included disposal, and also information on disaster mitigation and planning. The newest law that came out was on, I went to this class, was implementation of Daniel's Law and the redaction process. The New Jersey Office of Information Privacy was created to protect information of officers, basically police officers, judges, prosecutors, all those retired, and any of the residents that are living in their homes, immediate family. The law was addressed because a district court judge, Salas, she was sought out after someone, a criminal, who came to intend to kill her. Unfortunately, her son opened the door, and he was shot and killed instantly, and her husband was also critically injured. And his name was Daniel, so therefore we have Daniel's Law. They've created a portal. Anybody can go on the portal, and you can read about Daniel's Law. But in that process, it's teaching us how this law is going to protect certain individuals. There's a portal on it. I sat in on that. I also had the opportunity to meet with Christine Campbell, who's the director of this new office, and she was very helpful in helping me individually sit down and address how Summers Point was going to implement this and keep this process going to protect our law enforcement. So that was a 2-hour class, and then I met with her 1 hour one-on-one, which she was very gracious. The next class was the future of liquor licensing in New Jersey. So with the legislation of cannabis, many now are seeking to reform the liquor license law. You might have seen that in the press that the government has enacted a 5-year plan to reduce the cap for consumption for liquor licenses. Another class was back to basics with elections. The laws are constantly changing with elections. There's also going to be all new machines. So you've seen the new poll books. They're electronic poll books. This year, we're going to have new machines, and the machines are going to counteract with the poll book. So everything's going to be a touch screen, and when you're done voting, you'll actually get a receipt of proof that you voted. I think that's all that I went to.
That's all?
I think so, yeah. And there was a fraud class for a registrar, and because we deal with a lot with identification, so we had a briefing with the FBI for about an hour and a half on fraudulent driver's license, passports, and et cetera. So, and I do thank you, because it is something that I can apply to my job and also bring it back to my staff. So I really do appreciate going.
Thank you for giving us that report. I also did attend the League of Municipalities. There were several, I don't know, probably a couple hundred vendors there. I walked through and spent several hours there speaking to a lot of the vendors. My most important vendors that I wanted to speak to were the insurance companies. There were 5 insurance companies there. I spoke to all 5 of them. I brought back information for Mr. Frost, and he followed up to try and help us with our health insurance. So the general consensus, most of the vendors, all the equipment, whether it was playgrounds or fire trucks or anything at all, was that whatever you're going to order, you're not going to get it for at least another year, if not longer. So that was kind of disheartening that everything's costs a lot more and it takes a lot longer to get. So I don't think there was anybody else have anything to add. I think that was it.
No,
Okay.
I also attended, and I was actually able to meet one of my favorite people and kind of the heroes. My life, mayor that I always looked up to that was Mayor Suzanne Walters of Stone Harbor, was at one time the president of the League of Municipalities. I was able to spend about 45 minutes talking to her, learning a lot from her, and I stopped at a lot of the booths in reference to the veterans who I went through, and did try as much as I could in the time allotted that day to get around throughout the floor and try to visit as much as I could.
Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, thank you. Any other old business to discuss? Moving on to new business, approval for a social affair permit for Robert Johnson Post 2189 VFW, March 4th, 2023, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at their Bethel Road location. Everyone okay with approving that? All their paperwork is in order?
Yes.
Okay. Any objections?
No.
Hearing none? Okay. Approval of a social affair permit for the Summers Point Volunteer Fire Company Number 2, also on March 4th, from 12 to 5 at 20 West New Jersey Avenue. Any objections? All their paperwork is in order?
Yes.
Okay. Hearing none? They're approved. Approval of a social affairs permit for the American Legion Clark Ellison Post 352 on March 4th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at First and Pennsylvania Avenue. Again, their paperwork is in.
Yes.
Anyone have any objections? Looks like there's going to be lots to do on March 4th in Summers Point. Approval for a social affair permit for Linwood Education Foundation on March 25th, 2023, from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. at 901 Mays Landing Road, Great Bay Country Club. Their paperwork is good?
Yes.
Any objections, anyone? Okay, that one's approved also. Discussion of the bills, Mr. Frost.
Yes, this evening we have a record payment dated February 1st in the amount of $8,400. In addition to that, we have a bill list dated February 7th in the amount of $2,944,846.17.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion to open for public comment?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
I didn't hear it, I'm sorry. Any opposed? We're now open for public comment. Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Judd Moore, 841 Bay Avenue at Bay and Summers. Thank you for your vote tonight. You're going to make a lot of residents pleased in the area. Just wanted to clarify that the numbers that were stated does not compare to what was collected last year. I kept in touch with the administrator, and the raw numbers are around $11,800 for all 3 lots. So divide that out evenly, which you can't really do, but just for the sake of doing, it's like $4,000 a lot on average. But I don't think it's broken down specifically per lot. So to really get to those numbers, I think would really be difficult. And from what I understand you guys saying is that you were going to have the police go down there and enforce it and generate money through tickets, which is probably not the best thing to do in our community. And I wanted to clear up what Mr.
That's not what
Pamphlet
we-
said
that's not
about
what
the
we
parking
said.
lot with the clam bar. It's not just the clam bar. On the weekends, the majority of the people do go to the clam bar, but then they leave there. I see them walking down the street. They go to the beach concerts. People from the Anchorage comes up to that lot. People from the Point come to that lot. It is a wide variety of people that do come to that lot. So I just wanted to, to clear that up. But thank you so much for taking this measure. I can assure you that the people in our area will be very pleased. And it just goes to show that next time when you do something, and it's, okay, you tried it, it didn't work out the best that it could, but listen to the public, listen to the people of the area before you go down that road again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Charlie Habercorn, 47 Wilson Avenue, Summers Point. I just want to thank Mr. Frost for all the work he put forward in developing the RFP that we were talking about, that you folks were talking about tonight for the marketing. So, Mr. Frost, thank you very much. Also, the finance team, you were so receptive to our conversations and challenged us back, which we'll take back to the EDAC committee and all you tonight voting in favor of that. Because the EDAC group did put a lot of time and effort into discussing and deliberating and then deciding to bring it forward. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Motion to close?
Motion to close public portion.
Second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Please? Any opposed? We're now closed for public comment. No, I know you can't, but I need more than two people to say aye. Motion to pay the bills, please.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we can pay the bills. Thank you. Any other comments from the governing body?
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
there's going to be a sub sale at the Firehouse Station Number 2 on Sunday. I believe it's from like 11 to 3. And then,
Super Bowl subs.
yes, and then next Tuesday, there's going to be a blood drive over at the VFW on Bethel Road.
Okay. Thank you. Any other comments?
Be prepared for company number one's dinner, I think they're
March-
talking about March 11th.
March 11th, that'll be another good one. That'll be another good one.
at the Flanders.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
You only heard one aye?
I only heard one aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, we're adjourned.
It's a good thing we have it.
I guess, but I just,
Well, you outdid yourself tonight, guys.